So a bit of a crazy one to start off today. Trump was shot at during a rally last night. He thankfully is okay, though there was a casualty in the crowd and 2 people in critical condition as well. So we have a clip of Trump when the shots were fired to look at some of Joe Biden's response as well, and then reporting that has came out about the shooter, about the incident. But I do want to start off by saying that political violence of all kinds should be condemned. I think it's important to the sanctity of who we are. Republicans laughed at Paul Pelosi being attacked with a hammer. They laughed at the pipe bomb incident with Kamala Harris and other Democrats, but I don't want to see this as an opportunity to get even, but to go high where they went low. And for that, I am just glad that Trump himself was not seriously hurt.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Again, this was horrible, something that has no place in America, and you already see conspiracies floating around from the fringe left and the right that are just kind of disgusting. Some fringe on the left claiming that it was staged and all fake, and a fringe on the right claiming that it was a Democratic setup to get rid of Trump because Biden can't beat him, which I believe are equally misguided beliefs that, again, have no place in America. But one of the things that irked me the most was the almost instant and vitriolic reaction from the right to try and say, oh, it was the Democrats, and push a narrative as if now all Democrats are to blame for this, when first off, right-wingers never say and would never say that all Republicans are to blame for mass shootings when they're done by right-wing lunatics, but also because they say, oh, your rhetoric caused this, as if they just now understand what we've been saying about insightful rhetoric and what it can do, like calling the opposition vermin and thugs, calling immigrants criminals who are invading and poisoning the blood of our country that leads to them being attacked, or the rhetoric around January 6th that led to people storming the Capitol and looking for Congress members while chanting "Hang Mike Pence" and having guns and weapons. They still see all of that as fine, but expect Democrats to take full culpability for calling Trump a threat to democracy. But even furthermore, that point kind of becomes moot when you see that the shooter, who was identified as Thomas Matthew Crooks, is a registered Republican. He is also a gun enthusiast and had a shirt on from a pro-gun channel that he was said to have watched and loved. So it's pretty clear that this boils down to another shooting carried out by a lunatic right-winger. There has been this photo going around trying to say, oh, he donated to a Democratic super PAC. But as you can tell when you compare what's been confirmed as his voter registration from this picture of the donation, it's not at all the same people. First and foremost, the addresses are different. The donation comes from Pittsburgh, not Bethel Park, which is his residential address and where the donation would have came from. But also, it doesn't include his middle name. It's just a Thomas Crooks. And even furthermore, he would have only been 17 at that time. So it just boils down to a last-ditch effort of people disgustingly trying to construe a narrative that it was the left, he was on the left, and they did this, so all Democrats are to blame, when it more so fits into the narrative that we need gun control. We need strict gun control, especially, and these lunatic right-wingers who run around with guns are a threat to our society. Now, I also want to play a little bit of Joe Biden's response that he made shortly after.
There's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have been engaged in making sure that the people and we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is, the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate.
So there's been total condemnation from the left. And I do think it's important to contrast responses where in the left, there's a clear majority of them condemning violence. Every single Democratic Congress member has came out saying such and sending condolences to Trump, while Republicans by the majority, especially their Congress members, are trying to wield this as a political cudgel to use against the left, because even to them, a shooting against their own presidential candidate is nothing more than an opportunity to gain more political points, to fuel more tribalism and divide the country even more, which to me is a truly sickening response to have to an event like this one.